Perfect. Right. So we are just looking at a quick recap of the little that we learned yesterday. And this is the slide we are currently on. We're looking in the slide says who is a data analyst. So yesterday we understand that you cannot separate obviously a data analyst from her data or from his data. Okay, those two, without one, the other is useless. Okay. And our job as data analysts to collect data, organize them, study them, and provide business insight, provide useful insights that can be used, to move an organization forward, that can be used to predict the future and to position a business for market, so that we don't miss out on our profits, profits or market share, so to say. And it's also for saving us from going into loss as well. Okay, so we act as the gatekeeper, for an organization's data. So our role is really important, to the business as a whole. Okay, so that takes us to the next bit. Your responsibility would be to get the data, filter, manipulate the data in such a way that it becomes useful to the essence for which you got it for. The problem that you're trying to solve with it. Bend it in quote to a way that you can actually use it for that purpose. Then you can spot strengths, spot differences, dig deeper to see why you're saying what you're saying, deal with data quality issues, then generate reports that will be easy to understand, because most of your stakeholders are not necessarily technical people who would understand too much of jargon. So you want to present your data or your report in such a way that a 5-year-old can try and make sense of it. Then, of course, developing and improving processes at work, okay, to improve efficiency. This is where automation comes into play, this is where tools like Power Automate, it becomes really necessary to know how to put the flows in place, so that some processes would happen without you manually needing to get it done at the intervals that it needs to be done, So that saves time, saves effort, energy. It just frees you up a little to have time to do other things. And of course, you have to collaborate with people. As much as you work in silo, you must also work with people. Okay. Most of the time we are too married to our computers, trying to solve this problem, solve that problem. You find yourself for many hours just being, on your system and just reasoning and thinking. You don't even know how much time has flown by. Okay. So the tendency is that's what would want to happen. But then you have to intentionally, leave your system a little and just move around and, socialize a little. We have to build meaningful relationships at work, because it's really important. You cannot go it alone. And then identifying business needs and priorities. These change per season, per time, so it's good to be present. Okay. Don't think, okay, I have to wait for them to tell me what they need. Okay. I think we'll be better positioned, better seen, and more heard if we are proactive, at work. Okay, so proactivity being one of your soft skills that they would want for you to have, not just for data, just generally, as well. Okay. And qualities, what are the qualities you need as a data analyst? Paying attention to details is very easy to miss, very important, especially when you're looking at data quality issues. You can miss a lot of corrections that could have been made, earlier on. Uh, if you don't pay attention to most of the details that you have there, um, the I's that are dotted, the T's that are not crossed, okay, misspellings and, all of that. Okay, so it's necessary. And this comes with experience. It comes with time for the best of us, for most of us. For some people, it just comes naturally. But for most of us, we get better with time. So I'll say give yourself time to grow. Problem solving definitely is important, as it is to many aspects of our lives as well. Okay. So that's analytical thinking, creative thinking, problem solving. I think they are all woven, they are interwoven. Okay. You want to be able to think deeply, think outside the box, where certain problems within your own jurisdiction presents itself. And then, of course, is good industry knowledge would always be of advantage. Okay. So this is again where building good relationship would help, because the more people you are in contact with and you sort of pick maybe even if it's just very little discussions here and there with, the more you would understand what's actually going on with the business. Okay. And the more you understand the business, the more you would understand how to use their data. So their data would not be too much of texts and numbers that are just sat beside in front of you. Okay. You would make sense of what the column headers that you see there, you know, what they are. Okay, so when you're then solving problem, you would understand the perspectives of the business and how you would, come out best to use their data to interpret it the way that it would help the business. Okay, definitely effective communication cannot be uh, overestimated, or is it overestimated or underestimated? However, that is supposed to be said. It's very important to be able to communicate, and you generating a lot of findings in your report. So you've got to be able to pass the message across, in very simple terms. Okay, so it's not enough to have excellent technical skills. Of course, you definitely need that, but you have to be able to communicate, you know. Um, you have to be able to tell the story but behind the report that you're generating. You must be able to tell them of your findings and where it is necessary, your recommendations. Okay, so very important. Um, the list is not restricted to this, obviously. There would be other things that you could have. Okay, so it's now become an individual thing where you dig deep into yourself. Is it self-knowledge now? Self-awareness, you knowing your strength and how to play your strength well, bring it to fore, and use it to help yourself to leverage and position yourself really well, for within the position that you work as. It's really very important. So don't hide away the things that you are good at, that you are really, really good at is good to, at every opportunity that presents itself, is good to bring it out, shine it through. Okay, and then that brings us to these keywords. I would say let's screenshot this. If you've not been screenshotting, you should. Okay, it's good to have these notes. Okay, so But we need to screenshot this because this would be a partly classwork, partly assignment. Okay. And this is the part where we are going to unmute and say what you know about these, if you have ever heard of any of them before. Okay, so you won't leave me alone to discuss this, and we won't be touching on everything. Okay, we won't touch on everything, just a few important ones. But what I really need you to do more than anything is to screenshot this and research them. So you're going to need to bring this to class tomorrow. Okay, so this is our first assignment together. Screenshot this and research as many of these as possible. If you can't do it all, as many as possible. Okay. Uh, right now, I'll pick a few that we'll discuss, but I don't want us to dwell too much on them because chances are that you would forget them if I just, tell you what they are anyway. Okay, some are quite they look quite straightforward from the way they've been put together. Okay, so the first one there, data life cycle. Okay, life cycle, just like any other uh life cycle. What stages does data pass through? From the time that it is created or generated, all through the different processes that it could go through. It could be that you analyzed it, you cleaned it, you shared it, you reviewed it, all of everything within, to the point where you delete it or you archive it away, according to um according to the law guiding how you should be using that data. Okay, so that's what data life cycle. I believe at some point in this slide, we would get to see more. Excuse me. We would get to see more of a picture that shows us something on data life cycle. Okay, and data cleansing. Who wants to have a go at what they think data cleansing could be about? I've mentioned it during the course of my talk now. What is data cleansing? From the word cleanse, to cleanse, or to clean something. Let's go for it. Anyone? Should I call? Should I pick someone? Let me see. Let me see. Who should I go for? Okay. Because I can't see hands raised, you can actually unmute and talk. Now I can see that you, Mr. Fidelis, your hands up. Go for it, sir.
Okay. From my own perspective, data cleansing should be when you get the informations and you're trying to put them together. So at that point, you begin to see some informations that are not related or that are not well put in place. Then those that needs to be removed, you remove them. Those that needs to be reshaping and rearranged, you do them. I think that should be data cleansing
Thank
from
you.
what you've explained earlier.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, you are right on point there. Thank you. Yes, from the word cleanse, when you're cleaning something, it means there are some unwanted, what should we call them? Impurities, so to say, in them, and you need to deal with them before you move the work forward. Okay. So like Mr. Fidelis said, it would be things like maybe there is a misspelling of a name of an object. Okay. So that needs to be dealt with. It could be that you've got special character where you shouldn't be. Okay, it could be, like you said, some rows are not going to be needed for the report, and you have so many Okay, maybe you have about 100,000 rows of data, and all you need there could be just maybe 50,000 or even 10,000 for the job before you that you need to do. So there will be needs to remove the unneeded ones, unwanted, rows and columns as well. Some columns may not be relevant, to what to the work ahead of you. Okay. So, and sometimes you have duplicates. Okay. You have some rows that are repeated. Okay. So there's need to deal with that. If, for example, you have Debbie's information or Debbie's record, okay, within your data set, and Debbie's record is appearing like 3 to 4 times. Okay, you want to actually zoom in or zone in properly and see why is Debbie appearing 4 times within one data set. Is it the same Debbie? Are they all the same information? All of the rows are all the same? Okay, if that's the case, then that's duplicated. Okay, so you want to take out the extra layers, because those would affect, they will skew skew your data or your report. Okay, where you should be getting 20, you get 80 because you've passed 4 rows of the same record through. So that would not be right. Okay, so it would be things like that. Sometimes you have very missing data, null values. Okay, then you want to make decision. How do I get these null values dealt with? If within the organization, if there's a way to get them and put them back into the record better, that's the best thing. But if there isn't, then you want to discuss with the business, what should you do with these roles? Should you just, especially if they are very important to the report as well, you want to make a decision at that point. Okay. So that's what data cleansing is about, and you would find that majority of your work would you will spend a lot of time doing this. Okay, a lot of time doing this because it's really important to work with clean data. Okay, now data cleansing and data quality, we can say, are related. Data quality is talking about the quality of data. Okay, how clean is your data? How complete is your data? I think we have data completeness within this keywords somewhere as well. So you will find that some of the keywords that are here are interrelated or the same thing. So data cleansing, data quality are interrelated. If the quality is poor, you want to clean it. Okay. If the quality is top notch, maybe then there's no need for cleaning. Okay. So that's those two. Then I'm seeing data integrity here. Okay. From the word integrity, how true is the data that you're working with? Okay. So if I've got a sales table that I'm working with, and I'm within say team A in the organization, and team B also have a sales table that they are working with. The two sales table, if they are meant to be representing the same thing, then we shouldn't have different values in them, if that makes sense. So it shouldn't be that the total sales I'm getting from all of my sales table, and that sales table is supposed to be the same as what team B is also using. So total sales that we are both getting should be the same, all things being equal, which means we must all, as an organization, have the same source of truth for our data. That's why it's good for an organization to have a database where everybody is feeding from, okay, so that we are all using the same the same data or data sets to generate all our different reports. Okay, whichever angle of the business you are representing. Okay, if we're all getting our data from the same database, then we will be fine. It means that we have data integrity. that we have one source of truth that we are creating our report from. Okay, so integrity is just consistency, isn't it? That A is A, not that A is A with me and then A becomes B with another team or another department, in the organization. That's not right. Okay. So, and that's why you find that many organizations, all of the organizations that are, about now globally, they are spending quite a lot of money on making sure that they have a, a proper database in place, that their data is in good shape. Okay. And many are still very far off. Okay. You hear very nice big names of industries, of companies. And it's when you get in as an employee that you will see that, wow, their state of data is really not where it should be at all. Okay. So as much as companies are spending a lot, there's still a lot of gap. Okay. And that is where you and I come in. That is why they need us. Okay. So that's that about data integrity. So I've said about data lifecycle, data cleansing, which is related to data quality. Okay. And then data integrity. Okay. Maybe we can talk about migration. Okay. From the word migration and from our knowledge of what migration is, let someone have a go. What do they think data migration could be? Just unmute and say it. Don't.
I think data migration would be like where you move data from one storage to the other. When you,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, from one legacy system to another. Okay, from one storage to another. As long as you are migrating data is always more around something like what's the best example to give? Say there was a data migration project that I was on once. So it was that London Stock Exchange was yeah, they were moving all of their system. So be it software or hardware, everything, they were moving from using a particular uh um a particular it's like saying I want to move my stuff. We're not using Microsoft anymore. Okay. And we are now upgrading, to an entirely new system. So a system, a system has to be put in place to gradually get that done. So, but the long and short of migration is data migration is you are moving your it could be software, hardware, data, database, everything around your data uh, from one legacy system to another. You are changing system. And most of the time it happens because an organization is upgrading from where they were, they want to upgrade to something nicer or something better. Okay. So that's what, but yeah, thank you very much, Sal, for you know, for that one. Okay. Uh, let me let you have a look through and see, is there any of these keywords that you want to have a go and just, try your hand on? I want someone who hasn't spoken yet. Um, Look through this and tell us which one can you try, even if it's not a perfect explanation. I need you to interact with it and tell us what you think it could be. Let me see who have I got here. Okay. Mr. Dewale, are you able to unmute, sir? Yes, no? Mr. Ahmed, are you able to? Okay, Mr. Dewale has unmuted.
I'm still, yeah. Basically, I would like to try. I don't know.
Anyone really? Anyone at all?
Yeah. I would like
And
to try data governance.
okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, maybe data governance could be maybe everything you do to ensure that a data is secure, private or accurate. Also, just to govern it, to protect it, to make available or just to everything you do to ensure that the data is secure and private, and accurate, I think.
Thank you. I like that. Thank you very much. I like how you have I like how you have approached that. Yes. That is very true. Everything you do to ensure that data is secure. Okay, because the most of the time you're working with maybe personal data. These are people's records. Okay, and there must be laws that are guiding how you use these. So this is where data governance, comes to play. So data governance is about the set of laws or policies, the policies, the practices that ensure that data is well secure, that it is accurate, and that it is usable. Okay. So, and it applies throughout the life cycle of that data, from the time that it is collected to the time that it is disposed. Okay. So data governance is very important. And it's you will find that it filters through the different levels of your usage of data, actually, from when you are dealing with the data quality, okay, to when you are making business decisions with it, okay, there will be elements of data governance that you are applying, along the way. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Diwali. I really appreciate that. That's a good one. I love the one that you actually picked. I love all of them, but yeah, data governance is an important one for us to actually mention. I need one more person to go for just one more.
Yes, can I go for it?
Please do.
I'm going to talk about data modeling. Just like financial modeling, essentially, it's the process through which you abstract, you use a data set and make a different representation of that data, but and abstract the different information you want from that specific data, either visually or using different form of like representation to make sense out of that data.
Yeah.
I think that's what I think about when I hear data modeling.
Thank you. Yes, you are right. You are right. So data modeling is looking at the process of how you are creating visuals or collecting the data, storing it, manipulating it. But more than anything, when you hear modeling, the most important part of modeling is the fact that, you see, sometimes you will need to work with data sets. You will need to get data from different sources. So it's not just one table or one data set that you are working with. You would need to work with different data sets, even for one report. Okay. So when you have gotten different data sets from different sources, sometimes from the same source, but different tables still, there's a need for all of these tables, as many as possible, if not all, to be able to communicate with each other. There's a need for communication to happen. For example, if we use Tesco's database, for example, Tesco's would have customers table, the customers that come there and get stuffs. And then they would have employees table. Their employees, the list of employees and all the records of employees, they would have that. Then they will have the list of stores, the different stores that they have, that they have everywhere, different locations. I mean, they'll have records of that. Then they will have a record of all the orders that people make. Okay. Now, most of the time, the orders table is what you are after, because maybe you want to look at their profit over time, or their total sales over time, or their metrics, KPIs, over time, and all of that. Now you've gotten the orders table, you've gotten the customers table, the employees table, and maybe the products that they sell. There'll be a data set that gives records of the products that they are selling. Okay, so you see you've got all these 4 or 5 tables. Now, as a data modeler or a data analyst, the part of your job where you make all of these tables communicate with one another and interact with one another such that your job becomes easy, that part is data modeling. And we are going to see the practical of it. We'll attempt it in Excel, but more than anything, it is better or best shown in Power BI, probably in Tableau as well. But Power BI we use more here, so you would easily see when we get there how this happens. I hope that explanation is clear.
Yes, totally. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Okay, so like I said, you see these keywords, it takes a lot of time. That's why I'm making it more of an assignment. So do we all have this screenshot?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Okay. So let's research on this, and we'll present this in class tomorrow. That's the first thing we'll do before we move on. Okay. So, but I'll move off this now. I don't want us to dwell too much on this anymore, so that we can do a little bit more. Okay. And because we'll be starting with this tomorrow as well. Okay. And I'm doing that because I know that the more we go out and make our findings on these, the better we'll be for it, rather than me just discussing through class. The chances I will forget that we will forget. Now, the importance of this part is, you see, when you are at interview and you're talking data with someone who is interviewing you, having a good understanding of most of what we have here, it helps you to speak the language of data better. So when you will speak with more confidence, you will bring data jargons into your discussion, and they would know that actually you know your onions, you know what you are talking about. Okay, so it won't be that you are beating around the bush while trying to explain something. You just go straight, use the right keyword, and you just speak on. Okay, do you understand me now? That's why this exercise is important. Okay, so please let's take it serious. And that takes us to the tools that we use, which I believe we have had a few things about. Excel is your first, is very, really, you see the way water is important to fish. That's how Excel is very important. Okay. I did drop an Excel video. I keep referring to it because it's a lifesaver. You see, it's very, very helpful. Just spend time You don't have to go through all of it at the same time, and you don't have to finish all of that video. No, I've never finished it. Okay, but I can tell you that it brought out it brought out the best in me. Okay, and how you use it is, don't just sit and watch. Sit, watch, and practice along. Sit, watch, and practice along. Okay, the more you practice along, the better you'll become. Okay, we won't be able to teach everything Excel in a class. It's not possible. Okay, so self-study, a lot of it as well is what you're going to rely on more of. But of course, we will see how Excel can be used to analyze data during our onboarding class. Okay, I did say before, Power Query is part of Excel now, and it's part of Power BI. Okay, so Excel, Power Query, Power BI, you know, those are very good. Power Query is just like a machine that has been put into Excel. It never used to be in there before, and that's why Excel will continue to be relevant, because they keep upgrading and updating it. You know, so it's going nowhere anytime soon. Okay, it's been there since God knows how long, and it's still there, very, very relevant. Okay, so Microsoft they are doing the best they can, you know, to make it to continue to be relevant, and it will continue to be relevant. Okay, so Power Query is your data cleaning tool that is situated within Excel and also within Power BI. You see how a lot of time Excel needs all the Excel formulas, okay, for you to be able to work in it. Sometimes all you just want to do is to get rid of something or split a column or whatever, okay? Rather than look for an Excel formula, Power Query is there to help, okay? We will see how Power Query can be used. And the good thing about Power Query is if you know how to use it within Excel, it is the same knowledge that you are carrying forward into Power BI as well. The same for Power Pivot. Power Pivot and data modeling are the same. Power Pivot is looking at the relational side of things. Okay, how you draw your relationship, you know. And within Power Pivot, we'll look at the different types of relationship between tables. Okay. And of course, we have the SQL, okay, a structural query language or structured query language, I believe. Okay, so it's a coding language. It's easier to use than Python. Okay, so it's just like speaking English as you use it. We would need to, before I proceed, it will be good for you to have your Excel already, so that you'll be able to do the exercises that we'll be doing. And it will be great for you to download your Power BI as well. Okay, Power BI and SQL. Okay, so if you can have those three on your system, that would be great. The rest are not anything that we are going to be looking at. They are just there for us to see that those are also in existence. Google Analytics, I've used Oracle before. So again, it would depend on the company. Okay, most companies, definitely Power BI, definitely all of the companies I believe would have Excel. And the rest, maybe Python, maybe not. It's not very widely used as you would, you know, for as Power BI is widely used. Now, for those that are looking into going further into data science, definitely you'll be meeting Python, machine learning, and all of that. Okay, data engineering as well, for those that want to graduate their data skills into that level. It's a good thing, okay? But for those of us that would rather just stay just analyzing with these seemingly simpler tools, they're not as simple as they look, you know, but of course they are very flexible. I think the fear of coding, we run away from, coding, and we don't want to, go into Python and the rest of the other coding languages. But I think with the advent of AI, all these tools have become easier to use. Okay, you can easily generate, solutions that you need using chat GPT, Copilot, and the rest of them. Okay, so we can leverage AI to actually make life easier for ourselves. We don't have to run away, from using any tool at all, to be honest. Okay. And that takes us to, let me spend a few more minutes on this, to the principles of data analysis. Okay. The principles of data analysis would be, first, you want to understand the data. Okay, it is very important for you. How do you even work with something you don't understand anyway? So spend as much time as needed to understand what you are looking at, to get all the juice out of it. Okay. How to study data and understand it, I believe we'll look at some tables and have a go. Okay. That will be part of what we'll do tomorrow, actually. Yes, we'll do data understanding tomorrow. If we can do some data quality exercises tomorrow, that would be great. Okay. All this transforming and aggregation. Okay. Data aggregation is part of the keywords that we would work on. Okay. So what does that mean? Aggregation, what does that mean? This is just a mathematical exercise that you perform. It would be simple mathematics like counting. Okay, so you want to count how many rows or count how many items, or you want to add, multiply, all the addition, multiplication, average, minimum, maximum values of numbers. Those are your data aggregation. Okay, presentation would be last, would tend towards the end of when we have done a project already. Okay, but I think we can have a go at a simple exercise of trying to understand data, tomorrow. If we can, a bit of data quality, that would be great. Okay. Yeah, this is the data life cycle diagram that I was telling us about. One of the first keyword that we have was data life cycle, isn't it? So the first part where the data is created or captured. Okay. So where it is synthesized or aggregated, stored, secured. Okay. And then maybe you access it for sharing, or you access it for analyzing. Okay. And where it could also be that you're not sharing, you're just gonna archive it or delete it or purge it. Okay. So that's all it is for data life cycle. And then we have the data analytics life cycle. So the previous one was data life cycle. Okay, so this is for just data life cycle, the life cycle of data. But there is also the life cycle of your data analysis process. Okay, and this is it. And this, how it goes from objective to understanding the data. Okay, it's not written in stone. Okay, it could be that you are moving from you could have moved from objective to understanding the data, and then you are cleaning the data and you find that, okay, I need more understanding. You can always go back. So you can always move to and fro between steps. Okay. Now, what are these steps? There would be an objective, a reason why you are about to build a report. It would be that there's a problem they need you to solve. Okay, that is the objective. What is the business trying to achieve? trying to achieve at this point. You have to understand that objective, okay? And it could take a few meetings or emails that's exchanged between you and your stakeholder, okay? Trying to really understand what they need. Sometimes they don't understand what they need. So until you've ironed a few discussions out, then you both believe you have gotten there. At least there'll be something to start working with. And then you have your data set that you will work with. So there's the question they're asking you, the business question, and there's the data set that you'll be provided with, all the database where you would get the data from. Then you spend time understanding the data that you have been given to see if you have everything that you need for this problem that they have. If not, of course, you will need to go back to them that they haven't given you everything that you need. Now, if you have understood the data enough and they've given you everything you need, then you start looking at the data quality, okay? What data quality processes or process does it need to go through? Okay, do you need to remove anything? Do you need to add anything? Okay, are there misspellings? Are there duplicated data? Okay, you need to look through. Okay, and it's good to not rush anything. It's good to spend time and do a good job, of each of these. Like I said, you could have started cleaning and you will need to go back to objective. Okay, you could need to go back to objective because actually I don't really get what this guy is trying to achieve with this. So let me ask him a couple of questions. Then you set up a meeting or something, and that process continues until the solution is achieved and they are happy with it, and the solution is tested and it's seen that okay, yes, this actually works fine, and this would work fine. It will stand the test of time as well. Okay, so data enhancement. If you're needing to have additional columns, then the process where you visualize and analyze these two are almost the same thing. You're looking for trends, looking for the question they're asking you here. Are there answers that are provided after you have done all of this? When you got here, did you find answers? When you did, are there any recommendations that would come with it? Okay. And you could get to this point and you would need to actually come back here because you discovered, okay, there's more cleaning that needs to be done because something is not right with the visual. The visual is not right, okay? Along some points between here and here, data modeling must happen. After you have done your data enhancement, actually, you have to do some data modeling exercise here before you get to this point, okay? So that step is missing here, okay? And that's what data analytics lifecycle is mostly about, okay? And there could be more. It depends on the report you are being given. There could be more. Could there be less? Maybe we could put these two together to make it less. Okay. So what I mean by that is your work is peculiar to you. It is also peculiar to what you are trying to achieve with it. Okay. So it could pass through all these processes. It could pass through more in between. Okay. But as you get more experience with it, you will just flow with it, anyway. Okay, so far today, what we've managed, we had a recap of everything done yesterday, but we went on to look at qualities of a data analyst. We look at some keywords: data lifecycle, data cleansing, data quality, data modeling, migration, integrity, and data governance. I believe those are the ones we have touched on, but we said to go back and research this. So I believe everyone has got a screenshot of the keywords. Okay, that took a bit of our time, but yeah. Then we look at the tools that data analysts use. The list is not just this, there's more. And the principles, okay, of data analysis, we looked at that. And of course, we looked at a pictorial format of a data lifecycle, as well as explanation on data analytics lifecycle. We will see more of this in progress as we tackle more practicals, okay? And that's all we could do in class today. Do we have any question at all? Is there any part of this that's not clear that you need?
I raised a question in the group chat.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you said for SQL, which of the following are we working on? SQL backup. You see, for SQL, it would be a Microsoft SQL. It will be what is that? Let me look for yeah, it will be Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, MSSM. Yeah, Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that's the one it would be. You are welcome. Okay, any other question? Okay, so we all know what's happening tomorrow then. Tomorrow we'll start with, I don't think I'll do any recap tomorrow so that we don't waste time. Tomorrow we just go straight into keywords for starting. We'll spend the first 10, 15 minutes looking at what everybody has dug up and how much you managed to dig up. Okay, and then I said we'll start looking at this in practical sense. Let's have some data understanding skills, how to understand your data and data quality, how to take care of data quality in Excel. Okay, those are the major things. Well, if we have enough time, we could okay, we could go on with the slide, but I think tomorrow, I don't think there's that much more within the slides anymore. Okay, the slides is still relevant, but there isn't too much. Well, I want us to start doing things that are more practical. Okay, so we'll be jumping between the slide and a bit of class exercise, if possible, some assignments as well. Okay. On this note, I want to say thank you very much for your time, everybody. Thanks for all the participation as well. Thanks for making it interactive. We'll see you in class tomorrow night by God's grace. Let's enjoy our evening.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good night.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.